The battle for Bakhmut. Russian forces close in on another city in eastern Ukraine, which is all but destroyed. Ukrainian units have blown up bridges to slow the Russian advance and may be preparing for a controlled withdrawal.
I would say that there is a high probability that Bakhmut will be eventually lost after, 1 week, 1 month.
Also on the programme, the former Health Secretary Matt Hancock's plan to scare the public into following lockdown rules is revealed in more leaked messages. Candles lit tonight in the campaign to reduce the number of student suicides.
Nelson has to get his shot right.
And Arsenal leave it very late to seal a win which keeps them 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
This is ITV News with Geraint, Vincent.
Good evening. Russia's assault on Bakhmut has been going on for months and it has cost the lives of thousands of its soldiers. And there are signs tonight that the fight for the city may be nearing its end. Russian forces are thought to have closed the city off on 3 sides, and while Ukrainian reinforcements are arriving, there are indications that they may be there to begin a fighting retreat. If Bakhmut were to fall, it would be a rare battlefield victory for Moscow. Martha Fairley has the latest.
For 7 months, a bloody battle has been fought for control of the eastern city of Bakhmut. Ukrainian defences have until now resisted repeated shelling by Russian forces and a grinding advance of infantry. But slowly, despite heavy losses, the Russians claim they have encircled the city, leaving only one main supply route open to Ukraine. And Moscow senses a much-needed victory is near, assisted by large numbers of mercenary fighters from the private Wagner group.
Units have effectively encircled Bakhmut. There is only one road left. The pincers are closing. Previously, we were fighting the professional Ukrainian army, but today we are increasingly facing the old men and children. They are fighting us, but their lives in Bakhmut are short, 1 or 2 days.
But there is little left of this city, and its strategic value is considered by Western defence analysts to be minimal. In the past 2 days, Ukrainian troops have destroyed 2 key bridges outside Bakhmut, a possible move to slow down Russian troops, and a sign they may be preparing to withdraw as they come under increased pressure.
So far, some of the extra units are being withdrawn from Bakhmut because it's not a really big town and not many troops can be safely deployed inside. I would say that there is a high probability that Bakhmut will be eventually lost after, 1 week, 1 month.
This morning, Moscow issued these pictures of the Defence Minister Sergei Shoigu visiting a command post in the South Donetsk region. There is no doubt the capture of Bakhmut would boost Russian morale and provide President Putin with a significant propaganda opportunity. Meanwhile, in Lviv, President Zelensky has been seeking further military support from Europe, meeting with the President of the European Parliament, Roberta Metsola, as his forces dig deep to keep control of their eastern stronghold. Martha Fairley, ITV News.
A new set of leaked messages exchanged between Matt Hancock and his officials reveal that the former Health Secretary hoped to shock the public into following lockdown rules. In the messages sent to an advisor in December 2020 and leaked to the Sunday Telegraph, Mr. Hancock discusses when to reveal details of the new variant in order to, as he put it, frighten the pants off everyone. Here's our political correspondent, Carl Dinnan.
On the 14th of December 2020, Matt Hancock announced that London and parts of South East England were moving into Tier 3 coronavirus restrictions. He also had some other alarming news.
I can tell you that because of the testing and surveillance system that we've built, we've also identified a new variant of this virus, which may be associated with the faster spread in some areas.
We now know that the day before he had discussed how to deal with increasing resistance to further restrictions. "We frightened the pants off everyone with the new strain," said Mr Hancock, before voicing concerns that Brexit was dominating the headlines. His advisor, Damon Poole, agrees, yep, that's what will get proper behaviour change. Then Mr Hancock wonders, when do we deploy the new variant? Mr Hancock's media handling of the fallout from the revelation of his relationship with colleague Gina Coladangelo has also been revealed. After the publication of the front page, which showed the couple breaking social distancing rules, he eventually accepted that he had to go.
Those of us who make these rules have got to stick by them, and that's why I've got to resign.
But before reaching that conclusion, today's leaked messages show he tried to find a way out. In a crisis management group, his advisor, Damon Poole, asked the couple if they could both think really hard about whether they had broken the rules. Hancock replies, "Other than obviously the 1 metre plus, I honestly can't think of any. The worst they, the media, can do is say, kissed before they legalised hugs." But then he asks, what exactly were the rules on the 4th of May? More recently, Mr Hancock seems to have accepted that he did make a mistake.
I messed up and I fessed up, right? I've resigned.
Today, a spokesman for Matt Hancock said the messages contain nothing new and their publication was highly intrusive. Carl Dinnan, ITV News.
Next, vigils have taken place in Edinburgh, Bristol and London this evening in memory of young people who have taken their own lives while at university. Campaigners and the families of some of those who have died are calling on universities to improve the level of care and support they provide for their students, as Sam Holder explains.
The suicide rate is absolutely skyrocketing, and the people that are most susceptible to mental health problems are students.
Phoebe Grime took her life just 6 months after she put this video out on social media. She was a student at Newcastle University. After her death, it was revealed she'd contacted the university multiple times to say she was struggling.
20 hours before Phoebe died, the last adult she saw was a university counsellor, and Phoebe put her hand on her heart and said that she wished the pain to end. The counsellor contacted nobody. 12 different people she told. She told them, as far as I can see, there's absolutely nothing more that she could have done.
In a statement, Newcastle University said the coroner in Phoebe's inquest could not identify any points where things could have been done differently by the university. Nonetheless, we continuously seek to improve support services. Hilary is far from alone in her grief. 100 university students take their lives every year in the UK. She's now part of a campaign calling for a legal duty of care at universities and a framework that can be followed by all places of higher education.
It does exist in schools and in workplaces and prisons even, but not universities. And I don't understand why that is, because I feel like students at university are one of the most sort of vulnerable. You're at a very vulnerable stage in your life.
In Edinburgh, Bristol and London, vigils held tonight to try to ensure that adequate support is offered to those in need.
So the campaign is to get 100,000 signatures on a petition in order for us to have the government debate in Parliament the statutory duty of care. That would mean that students will feel safe when they come to university.
Those here hope that with the right support, there'll be no need to light 100 candles next year. Sam Holder, ITV News.
And if you or someone you know is affected by any of the issues in that report, there are details of organisations which can help on our website. That's itv.com/news. Prince Harry has said he has always felt slightly different from the rest of the royal family in a live interview with a therapist. The Duke said he believes his mother, the late Princess Diana, felt the same. Harry also spoke about his mental health and military service. And dramatic footage from America shows the moment a high-speed police chase ended with the car crashing over a bridge. The car, which was being driven by 2 teenagers who survived the crash, reached speeds of almost 100 miles an hour before they lost control. Sport now, and there was drama in the Premier League today where leaders Arsenal conceded the second fastest goal in Premier League history before fighting back from 2 goals down to beat Bournemouth 3-2 thanks to a winning goal in the 7th minute of stoppage time. The remarkable turnaround keeps them 5 points clear of Manchester City at the top. Here's Chris Scudder.
It's turning into an epic title race. Manchester City in pursuit of Arsenal and doing all they could against Newcastle.
Gave him a nudge, Phil Foden.
Phil Foden's fourth goal in 3 matches had the City contingent jumping for joy at the Etihad. And when Bernardo Silva made sure of 3 precious points with a second goal, all the heat was on the leaders for their later kick-off.
Well, away we go.
You could barely make up what happened next. This from Bournemouth, straight from kick-off.
But they're looking for an early chance there, and they've got it. What a start! How quick was that?
9.11 seconds, the second fastest goal in the history of the Premier League. And if 9-1-1 was bad, it really was emergency time for Arsenal when Bournemouth took a 2-goal lead in the second half. With little more than half an hour of normal time left, it looked a long way back. But then this.
Goal back for Arsenal.
And with the home crowd urging them on, Ben White fired the Gunners level.
Oh, did that cross the line? The answer's yes.
A fortnight ago, Arsenal had scored twice in stoppage time to beat Aston Villa. Surely they couldn't do it again with the pressure on. But oh yes, they could.
As far as Nelson has to get his shot right.
Substitute Reece Nelson had played only an hour of football all season, and here he was scoring the goal that might just be a crucial moment in helping Arsenal towards their first title for 19 years. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
The first Formula One Grand Prix of the new season takes place in Bahrain tomorrow with a familiar look to the front row. World champion Max Verstappen will be on pole position after beating his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez by just over a tenth of a second in the final qualifying session. George Russell was the best-placed British driver in 6th, with Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton starting the race from 7th place. And finally, there was more success today for Britain at the European Indoor Athletics Championships in Istanbul. Laura Muir took the women's 1500 metres title, winning the final in a time of 4 minutes, 3 seconds. It was the 29-year-old Scots 5th European indoor title, making her the most successful British athlete in the history of the competition. And that's all from me and the team tonight. Thank you for watching. Good night.